Hi guys, welcome back. I know it's been a long time. I've been busy working on stuff, going through some stuff, so I figured I'd hop on here. I do have a whole list of video ideas. It's just sitting down and making them. But today we're going to talk about not so much Lainey this time. I mean, she will get brought up. She is my world. My life revolves around her. So she will get brought up, but it's not all about Lainey. So if that's what you're interested in, this video is not for you. The type of video this is for is people who I've gotten some questions because I have been going through stuff that most people don't go through or do go through and wonder how I maneuver it. So this video is for the people that are trying to figure out how to date after going through a divorce, having kids involved, that type of thing. So that's what this video is for. So if that's really not what you're looking at or you don't want to hear how I did it, I wouldn't bother watching the rest of it. You're more than welcome to, but if that's not what you're interested in, this video is going to be pretty boring for you. But let's start just with, I told you this is how I started dating after getting asked for a divorce. To clarify, I am not divorced yet, so that is also part of it. I am going through the process, but I am not divorced yet. So let's just start with, how did I start? Like, how did I realize, hey, I want to get back into it? Well, the relationship I was in was not the greatest. So there was a lot of things, like I was ready. I was already ready. It wasn't like I really was like super heartbroken. Like I've had other relationships where I'm just like heartbroken. I don't want to do it. Now I did say, hey, I don't care. I don't need a man. You know, my saying from a couple videos ago, I'm an independent woman. I don't need no man. And I did have that mindset, but I was also like, I mean, I'm only 24, right? But I also had the mindset of I was 24, going through a divorce, and have a child. So with all of that, I was like, I don't even know if there's going to be anyone out there that wants this. So that's kind of where my head was. You have to determine that you're ready for it before you even start, because if you don't, it's not going to work out. So with that all being said, I was in my head, I was determined that, yeah, I was ready for it. Whatever it was, I was ready for it. The first thing I did was made a list of my must-haves in a partner. So my must-haves was, like, just some examples that I had were, must be interested in the same things. Like, we can't be completely interested in completely different things all the time. Now, there are things that, like, I'm interested in, such as making videos, that my current boyfriend is not interested in. And he's interested in football, and I'm not so much. But we compromise, and we, like, just last night I was asking questions about some football things and things like that, and actually one of the ideas for one of my videos he came up with. So, like, he's supporting me making videos, it's not his thing. So you probably will never see him. But it's just, we need to have some similar interests in order to be able to go do things that we enjoy together. Another thing is, I don't like going to the bar. Like, I don't live at the bar every weekend. I never have, and I never will. So I didn't want somebody who, like, I like to call it the bar life. Like, I didn't want that. So I knew that was not gonna work for me if they were. So that was one of my must-haves, was not a bar life. They had to understand that it was not only me, it was my daughter. We are a package deal. If we go somewhere, she might be coming or she might not. I mean, it completely depends on the situation, but they had to understand that we were a package deal. So those are like my 3 must-haves. Oh, another one was they must like dogs, because I have quite a few dogs, but 2 are like really, really mine. So they had to like dogs too, because if you don't like dogs, then it wasn't gonna work. And with that, you also had to have a list of what you didn't want. I'm not gonna list those, but you had to have that list as well. After I did all that, I made a Hinge. I was not gonna go on Tinder. I didn't want to pay for anything. So I went on Hinge and I made an account. I was very upfront and forward, especially about having a daughter and having dogs. Not a lot of information was given. There was no pictures of my daughter on my Hinge or anything like that. There were some of my dogs, but they're dogs. But I was very upfront and forward that I had a daughter, because I didn't want to like get into something and someone be like, whoa. And not to mention, she is my life. Like I said, like I talk about her. Like, this is what I do all day at the time. Now I work and have other things going on, but at the time, she is what I did all day long. So I was very upfront and forward about that. Oh, and also what I wanted and why I was on the app. I was very forward about it. And from there, I did talk to a few guys. I went on a few dates. And just like that, now I have a boyfriend. I did meet my boyfriend off of Hinge. And that's just how it is. And I know it's hard. And I know I got lucky. I'm just grateful I got lucky. So, I mean, I know it's hard. You're gonna go through some bad apples before you find a good one. So, it is what it is, and I just, by chance, found a good one very early on in the process. Me and my boyfriend have been together for 5 months now. So, there's also that, like, it is working pretty well. Something that I know people question. I have a child. And how was I going to go about dating now that I had a child? Like I did say before, I did go on a few dates. I did not take her on any dates other than the date that I went on my current boyfriend with. For me, she's young enough. She wasn't gonna know. She wasn't gonna have a heartbreak if it didn't work out. It wasn't going to be a big crazy thing. Like, she was, at the time, she was 4 weeks old. Like, she didn't know anything. Now, if I had an older child, I probably wouldn't introduce them to whoever I was dating until way later down onto the path of our relationship. But my child is very young, and she is not going to remember a lot of this. So it didn't matter in my sake. Thinking about it, I probably would wait later if she was older. And with that being said, she has been in his life since she was 4 weeks old. So she also really doesn't know any different, because she doesn't remember when she was 4 weeks old. So there's that. I had to be extra picky, not only for me and what I came from, but for my daughter. I had to be extra picky. When you have another human being that you're bringing into something, you have to think about them as well. So that was something that wasn't hard for me, but it was something I had to keep in mind, is I had a daughter and I had to be thinking of her as well. Things that we do because of our past relationships and our past traumas with them, or whatever you want to call it. One thing is, about once a week, we go through and we do, what do we want to work on in our relationship? We sit down and we talk about it. With that being said, you realize a lot of stuff that you picked up from your last relationships, a lot of bad habits, maybe a lot of good habits, but you realize, wow, now that you say that out loud, I was treated like that, now I'm treating you like that, and that's not okay, or whatever the case may be. But you learn a lot about yourself when you sit down with somebody and you talk. There's no arguing, it's just a conversation. What do we want to work on? And you realize some of the things that need worked on, you didn't even realize you were doing. And you realize a lot about yourself, and you learn and you work through it. That has really helped us. Communication. When something is bothering us, we talk about it as immediately as we possibly can, because it's so much easier to talk about it now than have it blow up. So communication is really key, especially with us. I wouldn't call it long distance, but it's not like we live within 5 minutes of each other. So we have to communicate with each other a lot, and we have to be good at it. What else? We have to be patient. Patient is a big thing, because there are habits that we have to break, and you can't just break a habit in a day. Ever try to quit smoking, vaping, whatever, chewing your fingernails? You can't break it in a day. So it is something that, like, you have to be patient with, and you have to work with the other person with. So that is something that we both are doing as well. That's really it. That's how we make it work. We communicate, we're patient, we sit down, we talk. What do we want to work on? And sometimes it's bigger than other times, some weeks. So it all is just dependent on what's going on. And there's always something going on in my life, let's be real. So it just depends how our moods were, what was going on with his work, what was going on with my work, what's going on with Lainey, what's going on in our personal lives. Like, it all just depends on that. But when we sit down about once a week and say, okay, what do we want to work on? Then we have something to work on and try to improve the relationship with. So I would suggest doing that, not only if you're going into a new relationship, like, start it now with your current relationship. It has really helped. So I would suggest doing that. Communication is key in everything, and patience is key in everything as well. Being a parent, patience is more. So I'm really working on that. But I'm a pretty patient person to begin with, so it's not that hard for me. But that's really it, and that's how we're making it work, and that's how I fell into what I fell into. Like I said before, I know I'm very lucky. I didn't go through a bunch of bad eggs, but I was also very picky and very upfront. So that helped out a lot as well. And everybody comes with a past, and you have to keep that in mind. And that's really all I got for today on that topic. So if anybody has any questions, let me know. Reach out to me. I could answer them. If anybody has video ideas, I do have a list, but I'm always willing to have more ideas and make more videos. I am eventually going to start doing the whole vlogging life, like, and actually showing you what we do in a day, but we're still kind of at that stage where she doesn't do a whole lot yet. So we're just kind of waiting for that stage. So that's all for today. I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.